Picture this. One of boxing's most legendary champions walks away from his career having earned over $300 million. Fast forward a few years, and he's declaring bankruptcy with $30 million in debt. I'm talking about Mike Tyson in 2003. Now, before you dismiss this as just another out-of-touch celebrity story, let me hit you with something closer to home. Right now, and as the years keep evolving, consumer debt in America has reached levels that economists are calling unsustainable. We're not just talking about people struggling on minimum wage. Recent data shows that nearly 1 in every 10 households earning over 6 figures, that's $100,000 plus annually, are living paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. People earning double or triple the median income can't make it 30 days without their next paycheck. So here's the real question. If earning more money doesn't solve money problems, what does? What's the actual issue here? Is it income, or is there something fundamentally broken in how we understand money itself? Something so deeply ingrained that even successful people can't escape it. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you 3 things. First, why your brain has built-in features that actively work against your wealth. Second, the invisible financial trap that's keeping nearly 80% of workers stuck in an endless cycle. And third, the exact framework wealthy people use that has nothing to do with working harder or living on rice and beans. This isn't about extreme frugality or get-rich-quick schemes. This is about understanding the actual mechanics of money that somehow never made it into 16 years of formal education. But fair warning, what comes next will probably contradict everything you've been taught about success, stability, and the right path in life. Ready? Let's go. Here's a question I want you to sit with for a moment. When did you actually decide what you wanted from your life? Not what your parents wanted. Not what society expected. Not what the system required. When did you make that choice? For most of us, the answer is uncomfortable because we never really decided at all. We were shaped. From age 5 onwards, you entered an education system that spent over a decade teaching you one core skill above all others: compliance. Think about what school actually trained you to do. You learned to sit still for hours, stand in lines, move only when the bell rang, raise your hand and wait for permission to speak. Accept that some people give orders and others follow them. Absorb information without questioning it. Take tests that measured your ability to memorize and regurgitate, not your ability to think critically or create value. You learned algebra and ancient history, but nobody taught you what compound interest is. You memorized the periodic table but never learned the difference between an asset and a liability. You studied for standardized tests but never got a single lesson on how credit cards actually make money off you, or why the average American pays over $1,000 per year just in interest charges. This isn't an accident or oversight. This is the design. The modern education system was built during the Industrial Revolution to create compliant factory workers. And while factories have changed, the system hasn't. It still produces the same output. People trained to follow instructions, meet deadlines, accept hierarchy, and most importantly, exchange their time for just enough money to survive and consume. Your diploma? It's not really proof of knowledge. It's proof that you can play by someone else's rules. That you'll show up on time, do what you're told, and not ask too many difficult questions. That's what makes you employable. That's what makes you useful to the system. And here's where it gets darker. The moment you graduate and enter the real world, the trap snaps shut completely. Without financial literacy, you immediately make terrible decisions with the little money you earn. You finance a car because you need it for work. You use credit cards because your salary doesn't quite cover your expenses. You confuse liabilities that drain your bank account with assets that could build wealth. The system needs you financially illiterate. A population that understands money is a population that's dangerous to control. So you're kept ignorant by design, set loose into an economic system designed to extract wealth from you, and told that if you struggle, it's your fault for not working hard enough. But what if the problem was never your work ethic? What if you've just been playing a game without knowing the rules? Pause this video and answer this fundamental question in your mind before you continue. What actually is money? Most people say it's a medium of exchange, something you trade for goods and services. Technically true, but that definition misses the entire point of what's really happening in every financial transaction. Here's a more useful way to see it. Money is simply a measurement of value. That's it. When you pay $6 for a coffee at Starbucks, you're not just exchanging paper or digital numbers. You're saying, this coffee experience is worth $6 of value to me right now. When an employer pays you $30 an hour, they're declaring, your time and labor creates $30 worth of value for us per hour. Probably more because they need to profit, but that's their calculation. Every transaction is a value exchange. Money is just the ruler we use to measure it. Now, why does this reframe matter? Because when you see money as value rather than as a moral force, everything shifts. You need to stop thinking money is inherently good or evil. It's neutral. It's a tool. A hammer can build a house or hurt someone. The morality lives in the person holding it, not the hammer itself. Same with money. It amplifies who you already are. It opens options and expands possibilities. A generous person with money becomes more generous. A selfish person becomes more selfish. The money doesn't change you. It reveals you. But here's where this gets practical. If money equals value, then your financial situation is simply reflecting a ratio. The value you create versus the value you consume. Let me break this down. Your financial life has two sides. Production. Money enters your life when you produce value. For most people, this means labor. A job where you exchange time and skills for a paycheck. But it could also mean a business, investments, or anything else that generates income. Consumption. Money leaves your life when you consume value. Netflix subscription, groceries, rent, car payment, dinner out, new shoes, all consumption. Your net worth at any moment is essentially a scorecard. It shows the cumulative difference between everything you've produced and everything you've consumed over your lifetime. Simple math, right? Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Remember those statistics? 80% of workers living paycheck to paycheck, even high earners drowning in debt? Which side of this equation do you think is broken? Take an honest look at your own life. Think about every dollar that's flowed through your bank account over the past year, past 5 years. How much of it do you still have? Either saved, invested, or working for you in some form? For most people, the answer is painful. Almost nothing. And it's not because they're not producing value. Most people work hard, show up, do their jobs. The problem is on the consumption side. Everything they earn, they spend. Sometimes more than they earn. Which brings us to the critical question. Why? Why do we consume at the rate we do? What's driving this behavior that keeps us trapped? There's an old saying, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to match your neighbor's lifestyle. They get a new car, you feel pressure to upgrade yours. They renovate their kitchen, suddenly yours feels inadequate. But in our age and times, the Joneses aren't just next door, they're everywhere, all the time, in your pocket. Every time you open Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you're hit with an avalanche of curated lifestyles. Luxury cars, exotic vacations, designer clothes, perfect homes. And your brain, which evolved in small tribes where you knew everyone personally, interprets this constant stream as, this is normal. This is what successful people have. This is what I should have too. This isn't a character flaw. This is your neurology being weaponized against you. Let me introduce you to the cognitive biases quietly destroying your financial future. Hyperbolic discounting. Your brain dramatically overvalues immediate rewards compared to future ones. This is why you'll buy $150 shoes today instead of investing that money. Even though rationally you know that investment could be worth substantially more in 10 years. Your brain screams, I want this now, louder than it whispers, but the future matters too. Social proof. We're tribal creatures. We look around at what others are doing and assume that's correct behavior. When everyone around you is upgrading their iPhone every year, carrying designer bags, driving new cars, your brain interprets that as normal, even necessary. Fitting in feels more urgent than building wealth because, evolutionarily, being cast out of the tribe meant death. The ostrich effect. We actively avoid looking at negative financial information. It's that sick feeling when you don't want to check your bank account after a weekend of spending. You know something's wrong, but confronting it feels worse than ignorance. So you avoid it, and the problem grows in the darkness. These aren't bugs in your psychology, they're features, but they're being systematically exploited. Modern advertising has evolved beyond just selling products. In 2026, brands sell identity. You're not buying a Tesla, you're buying the identity of someone who cares about the environment and innovation. You're not buying Lululemon leggings, you're buying membership in a fitness-conscious community. You're not buying an iPhone Pro Max, you're buying the identity of someone successful enough to afford the best. And here's the perfectly engineered trap. The system makes you work hard to earn money, then spends billions of dollars convincing others or building an image, only to spend that money on things that force you to keep working. You're caught in a loop. Work creates consumption, which requires more work, which funds more consumption. And the worst part? Debt has become the invisible chain that keeps this wheel spinning. Credit cards, car loans, mortgages, student debt, personal loans, all carefully calibrated to keep you with just enough rope around your neck. You're not working to build a life anymore. You're working to pay for the life you've already consumed. The future has been mortgaged to pay for the past. The present is just anxiety. And here's what makes this especially toxic in our current era. You're expected to broadcast your consumption. Social media has turned spending into performance. You need the trip for the photos, the outfit for the likes. The experience to prove your life is worth envying. The more you try to prove externally that you're thriving, the more hollow you feel internally. You're working to pay for things you don't need, to impress people who don't care, while your actual life, the only one you get, slips away one monthly payment at a time. Freedom begins when you realize you don't actually need most of what the system says you do. But to reach that realization, you first have to face the emptiness you've been trying to fill with consumption. And that's where most people turn back. Now, let's get something straight about what the rat race actually means, because most people misunderstand it completely. The rat race is not about having a 9-to-5 job. Plenty of people love their work. Many find purpose, community, and fulfillment in their careers. There's nothing inherently wrong with employment. The real rat race is this: living so close to your financial edge that money controls every single decision you make. It's being one paycheck from disaster. It's that feeling where money enters your account and immediately evaporates. Rent, car payment, credit cards, groceries, utilities, and there's nothing left. It's when your job transforms from something you choose to something you're trapped in because you need that paycheck to keep the plate spinning. The more obligations you have, mortgage, car payments, credit card debt, family expenses, the more dangerous this becomes. One unexpected medical bill, one job loss, one major car repair, and your entire financial reality can collapse. And think about the psychological weight of this. When you're living on this edge, you can't take risks on better opportunities. You can't say no to toxic work environments. You can't negotiate hard for better pay because you're desperate. You can't pursue education or skills training because you need every hour for work. You can't invest time building something of your own because survival takes all your energy. Your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, they all get shoved into the background while you chase the next paycheck just to stay afloat. Now that's the real rat race. And the bars of this cage are made entirely of monthly payments. So how do you break free? It starts with something uncomfortable: awareness. You need to understand yourself as a consumer. This means actually tracking where every dollar goes for at least 1 month. Not judging it, not fixing it yet, just observing. Housing, food, transportation, utilities, entertainment, subscriptions, miscellaneous spending. Write it down. categorize it. Most people have never done this. They just know money disappears, and they have no idea where it went. This part triggers what behavioral economists call the ostrich effect, that urge to avoid looking at negative financial information. It's uncomfortable to see how much you spent last month on things you barely remember buying. But this discomfort is the price of change. Once you have awareness, you need control. This is where budgeting comes in, not as punishment, but as intention. Before each month starts, you decide how much you'll allocate to each category. Then you track whether you stuck to it. The goal isn't deprivation or misery. It's living below your means, having a lifestyle that still leaves you with money to save and build with. Before you invest a single dollar, most financial experts recommend building an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in a savings account. This is your freedom fund. It's what allows you to breathe, to think long-term, to take calculated risks instead of being paralyzed by fear. But here's what most personal finance content misses. Reducing consumption is only half the equation. If you really want to escape the rat race, you need to dramatically increase the other side. Production. Here's something that'll completely change how you see wealth. The rich aren't playing the same game you are. You've been taught that wealth comes from hard work, education, discipline, and merit. And there's some truth there. But look closely at the truly wealthy, not the upper middle class professionals, but the genuinely rich. Do they work more hours than you? Are they smarter? Did they sacrifice more? Usually not. The difference isn't effort, it's understanding. They know something you weren't taught. There are two completely different economic games happening simultaneously. Game 1, trading time for money. This is what you learned. Go to school, get good grades, land a good job, work hard, climb the job ladder, save for retirement. In this game, you sell hours of your life for dollars. The better your education and skills, the more each hour is worth. But there's a hard ceiling. You only get 24 hours in a day. Even at $200 an hour, you're capped at how much you can earn because time is finite. And here's the brutal part. In this game, you're classified as a cost. Every raise you get reduces your employer's profit margin. You're structurally positioned to lose or, at best, to survive comfortably, but never prosper exponentially. Game 2, making money work for you. This is the game the wealthy play. They acquire assets that generate income. Businesses, real estate, stocks, intellectual property, royalties, licensing deals. While they sleep, money is working. While they vacation, businesses are producing. They don't sell time, they sell value, systematize it, and scale it. And here's what makes Game 2 exponentially more powerful. The more money you have, the easier it becomes to make more. Banks offer cheap credit to the wealthy, lower interest rates, better terms, and expensive credit to the poor. The best investment opportunities require minimum capital most people don't have. Tax laws in most developed countries favor capital gains over ordinary income from labor. Recent changes to tax policy in 2024 to 2025 have actually widened this gap. While labor continues to be taxed at higher rates, capital gains and qualified dividends receive preferential treatment. The game isn't just different, it's rigged. Now, I'm not telling you this to make you angry or hopeless. I'm telling you this because you can't win a game you don't know you're playing. Most people will spend their lives in Game 1, and there's nothing shameful about that. But you should at least understand that Game 2 exists and that transitioning to it is possible. For most people, labor will be the primary production vehicle. And that's fine. But your production capacity doesn't stop there. The digital economy has lowered the barriers to entry for value creation more than at any point in human history. Going forward as the times change, you can build a software product and distribute it globally with almost zero marginal cost. Create educational content and reach millions through platforms like YouTube, podcasts, or newsletters. Develop digital products, templates, courses, tools that sell while you sleep. Start an e-commerce business dropshipping products from manufacturers directly to customers. Offer high-value consulting or services remotely to clients anywhere in the world. Build a personal brand that opens doors to speaking, sponsorships, and opportunities. The barriers that existed even 10 years ago, distribution, manufacturing, payment processing, marketing reach, have largely dissolved. What remains is whether you understand yourself as someone capable of creating value beyond your job. The question isn't whether opportunities exist, they're everywhere. The question is, can you see them? And here's why most people can't. When you're trapped in the consumption-production death spiral, you are working all week just to spend all weekend. You don't have the mental bandwidth to see opportunities. You're too busy surviving to think about thriving. This is why fixing consumption comes first. Once you create breathing room, once you're living below your means, building savings, no longer living paycheck to paycheck, your brain literally has more capacity to think strategically about production. Let me tell you something most personal finance advice won't emphasize. Frugality alone will never make you wealthy. Yes, controlling spending is foundational. Yes, living below your means is essential. But there's a ceiling to how much you can save your way to wealth. If you earn $60,000 and cut expenses by 25%, you save $15,000 a year. Which is great, but it's not life-changing wealth. But if you increase your production and start generating $150,000, $250,000 or more while maintaining reasonable expenses, you've fundamentally transformed your financial trajectory. People who've built real wealth understand this. They're obsessed with maximizing the value they produce for the marketplace. So how do you do this? Here are the core principles. First, understand that value is determined by the market, not by you. You might think your skills are incredibly valuable, but if the market doesn't want them or won't pay for them, they're not valuable in an economic sense. The question isn't, what am I good at? It's, what am I good at that solves a painful problem people will actually pay to solve? Second, scale is everything. A local personal trainer might be excellent at their craft, but they're limited by how many hours they can work and how many clients they can train in their geographic area. A personal trainer who builds an online course, creates a YouTube channel, and develops a membership community can reach thousands or millions with the same knowledge, same expertise, radically different income potential. This is why digital leverage is so powerful in 2026. It allows value to scale infinitely. Third, solve real problems. Markets reward solutions to painful problems. The bigger the pain, the bigger the potential reward. If you can identify where people are genuinely struggling in their businesses, health, relationships, finances, and create something that genuinely helps, the market will respond. Fourth, leverage your unique combination. You don't need to be world-class at one thing. You need to be good at a combination of things that's rare. Maybe you understand AI, have strong communication skills, and deeply know the healthcare industry. That combination might be extremely valuable, even though each individual skill is common. Let me give you concrete examples from our current moment. A software developer earning $120,000 at a job is selling time. That same developer building a SaaS tool that solves a specific business problem could potentially generate multiples of that if they find product-market fit. A teacher earning $55,000 a year is trading time for money. That same teacher creating online courses, building a YouTube channel, teaching study techniques, and offering tutoring services could scale their income dramatically. A marketer working for one company at a salary is capped. That same marketer starting an agency, serving multiple clients, and building systems that allow the business to operate without them in every detail. They're playing a different game entirely. The shift is from employee, selling time, to owner, selling value at scale. Now I need to be clear. I'm not saying everyone should quit their job and start a business. That's not realistic or smart for many people. Job stability, benefits, steady income. These things matter, especially if you have dependents or significant obligations. But I am saying everyone should be thinking about how to increase the value they produce. That might mean developing skills that are in high demand and negotiating better compensation, taking on high-visibility projects that lead to promotions, building a side project that has scalable potential, creating content that builds an audience you can monetize, freelancing or consulting to test demand for your skills outside your job. The internet remains the single greatest wealth creation tool in human history Because it allows you to reach billions of people with minimal infrastructure. In 1990, starting a business that served customers nationally required enormous capital. Currently, you can build a 6- or 7-figure business from your laptop. Recent developments in AI and automation have made this even more accessible. Tools that used to require hiring expensive specialists, graphic design, video editing, copywriting, data analysis, can now be done with AI assistance. The barriers to creating and distributing value have never been lower. The question isn't whether opportunity exists. It does. The question is, what value can you create that the market actually wants? And you won't answer that question by just thinking about it. You answer it by trying, testing, putting things into the market, and seeing how it responds. Let's bring this all together because understanding the concepts means nothing without a clear framework for action. Escaping the rat race requires 3 simultaneous movements. Earn more, spend less, invest better. But before any of that, you need the mental shift. You need to kill the domesticated worker inside you, the part that's been programmed to accept limitations, to trade freedom for comfort, to measure success by someone else's standards. Here's your step-by-step framework. It will guide you out. Disclaimer: this is not a financial advice. It is just my research on what has worked and is still working for many successful individuals globally, and I know will work for you too. Step 1. Awareness. Track every dollar you spend for 1 month. Every coffee, every subscription, every purchase. Don't judge it yet. Just observe. Most people have never done this, and it's shocking to see where money actually goes. Step 2. Control. Create a realistic budget based on your awareness. The goal isn't deprivation. It's intention. Decide in advance how you'll allocate your money rather than wondering at month's end where it went. The key metric: are you spending less than you earn? If not, nothing else matters yet. Step 3. Protection. Build your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account. This is your freedom fund. It's what allows you to take calculated risks, leave toxic situations, and think long-term instead of being trapped in crisis mode. Step 4. Investment. Once you have control and protection, start investing for the long term. Index funds, real estate, retirement accounts. There are countless resources on the mechanics of investing. The key is consistency and time. The market rewards patience and punishes those trying to get rich quick. Step 5. Production scaling. While steps 1 through 4 are happening, actively work on increasing your value to the market. This might mean developing new skills, starting a side project, especially if you have a 9-to-5, building an audience, creating digital products, or transitioning from employee to business owner. This is the step that transforms your financial trajectory from linear to exponential. Step 6. Passive income focus. The ultimate goal is building income streams that don't require active time input. This could be investment income, business systems that run without you, digital products that sell while you sleep, or real estate that generates cash flow. The definition of financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds your living expenses. Now let me be brutally honest. This isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it. You'll face resistance from yourself, from others. You'll be called obsessed for tracking your spending. You'll be called boring for skipping expensive outings. You'll be called a dreamer for working on side projects. Society is heavily invested in keeping you exactly where you are, a productive worker and an active consumer. But here's what makes it worth it. Your time is the only truly non-renewable resource you have. Every day you spend in the rat race is a day you'll never get back. Every year you spend living paycheck to paycheck is a year of stress, limitation, and deferred dreams. The system has taught you that freedom is retirement at 65, if you're lucky. But what if freedom could be 35? What if freedom could be having enough passive income to choose your work because you want to, not because you have to? That's not a fantasy. It's a matter of understanding the game, playing it strategically, and refusing to accept the default script written for you by a system that benefits from your consumption and your labor. Mike Tyson earned $300 million and ended up $30 million in debt, not because he didn't make enough money, because no one taught him the relationship between production and consumption, between assets and liabilities, between appearing wealthy and actually building wealth. The same lesson applies to you, just with different numbers. You can earn 6 figures and still be broke. You can have an impressive job title and still be trapped. You can look successful on social media and be drowning in debt privately. Or you can earn a modest income, live intentionally, invest consistently, and build real freedom over time. The difference isn't just in the numbers. It's in the understanding. You now know that money is simply an expression of value. You understand the two games being played and why most people are stuck in the wrong one. You see how your consumption has been engineered by a system that profits from your spending. You recognize that your production is your real leverage point for building wealth. The question isn't whether this information is true. You already know it is. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you close this video, feel momentarily inspired, and then return to the exact same patterns tomorrow? Or will you take step 1 tonight, track your spending, really look at where your money goes, and begin the uncomfortable process of taking control? Your life is happening right now, not in the future when you finally make enough money, not after the next promotion or the next raise. Right now. And every day you spend running on the wheel is a day you're choosing the cage over freedom. The rat race isn't your destiny. It's just the default program, and you can rewrite it anytime you decide to. The only question left is, when will that be?